This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs. In this particular JMeter video, today I'm going to show you that the actual real thing that how can we uh, create the script for different HTTP request samplers, right? For all the REST APIs. So we have four typical operations for REST APIs. We have right CRUD operations, CRUD, create, retrieve, update, and delete. Like get call, post call, put, and delete calls are there, right? So we'll take some basic examples, and then we will see that okay, how exactly we can do the same thing with respect to JMeter. How can we call the APIs from the JMeter? How can we provide the thread group and everything with respect to your JMeter? Right. So we'll start with the basic APIs, simple basic APIs without any authentications with HTTPS protocol. And in the upcoming videos, I'll be telling you some more complex APIs where we have to pass authentications like OAuth 1.0, 2.0, basic authentication or authorization token and everything. But that's quite advanced thing that we will do it later. But before that, you have to understand that how can we simulate, how can we send the request from JMeter for all the APIs. So I assume that okay, you all are aware about what is basic APIs and what do you mean by get, call, post, and delete, and and delete for all the CRUD operation with respect to REST APIs. So I have taken some example. Most of the people they are aware about this particular site request res.in recrest.in. These guys they provide some dummy sample fake APIs. You can simulate these APIs. You can hit the request and you can get the response. So let's say I want to check how many users are there. You simply click this particular get button and you will be this is the request URL, this is the response you are getting, and this is the JSON payload that we are getting it. So we will try to exactly do the same thing in JMeter. Same thing, let's say you want to create a user. So post call is used to create the resource to create the user. So simple create the user with this particular request JSON payload. This is the request URL. I'm getting 201 response. It means content created. 201 is for content created, and then I'm getting this particular response. How will we doing that? Same thing for put, for update, and for delete also. The user is deleted. The blank response we are getting with 204 response code. The similar response code should be visible in your JMeter as well. So how to do that? But before that, you must be knowing about the Chrome Dev Tools. That you right click on it and go to inspect and go to your network layer. Okay, in this particular network tab, let's say I want to hit this particular get user. You simply hit it and you will see that okay, your Chrome Dev Tools, whatever the network requests are happening, it will capture all the requests over here. Now let's see, the moment I do that, you see um, the first message over here that's saying request URL is this. So this is my API request URL. This is a get call. I'm getting the status code as 200, and these are the response headers I'm getting from the response. This is a request header, I'm getting it, and this is the query parameter if you are passing something. So we have one query parameter. So whatever you see after question mark page equal to 2, this is called query parameter. So there are two types of parameter. One is query parameter, one is path parameter. So this forward slash API forward slash users, this is called path parameter. And question mark means you are performing any search operation on it. It means give me all the users on page number 2. So page equal to 2, you have to write it like this. So this is called query parameter. Now what kind of response you are getting from the response? I'm getting a huge JSON payload. So whatever the payload response is, is shown over here, the same response you can capture in your network layer like that. So how will you do the same thing in your JMeter script? So for that, let's open our JMeter. This is my JMeter, and in your test plan, what you do, right click on it and go to add. Immediately first we will add our thread group. So let's see, this is my thread group. I'm just maintaining only one thread, and let it be like this. I'm giving a thread group name. Let's see, you can change the name. This is a request, okay, REC app. And after this, right click on it, go to create a sampler over here. So I'm going to create a sampler. My first HTTP request, let's say this is for my get call, right? Because this is my get call to get all the number of users. And what kind of sampler you want to add? So this is the first of all, what kind of protocol? HTTPS protocol. What is the port number for HTTPS? We will be using 443. Okay, protocol we will be using it. And what is the main domain name? The server's URL. So this is the server URL request res.in. So you just copy this guy. No need to copy HTTPS because HTTPS protocol we have already written over here, and you simple write it over here like this. So this is your server name or IP name, right? If they don't have any IP address, they have registered with this particular domain server name. So you need to write request res.in. What kind of call? So you can select the call. It's my get call. And what is the path? The path is this. This is my path. Don't take this forward slash API users. So forward slash will be appended automatically. So this is my path. And do you have any, this is my get call. Do you have any parameter to pass? No, we don't have any parameter to pass. So let it be like this. Okay. And then you send the request. So for capturing a request, what I'm going to do that in your thread group, right click on it, go to add a listener and click on view result tree so that we can see the tree result also in this particular tree structure. And then you execute this particular, first of all, save this and execute this. Go to result tree and now execute. The moment I execute, you can see that, okay, one request, okay, it is getting called. And you can see that this is a sampler result. I'm getting 200 response code, perfectly fine. The request is this. This is the URL that we created. I hope you can see that the request res.in API users question mark page number 2. The same request, you can see that request res.in API users question mark page number equal to 2. And this is the response I'm getting. So you can see this is the exact response. Whatever the response on this particular page is available, the same response we are getting. You can see that the same exact response, right? So this is a, if you really want to see in a formatted way, this is the JSON response. So you do one thing, you just open a new tab on your Google and simple write JSON lint, okay? And this is a JSON validator. You just copy paste your JSON over here and simple validate the JSON. Now you can see that exact same response we are getting, right? We have page number 2 per page, this and that, total 12 users are there. You can see that exactly same response we are getting over here. Total page, total 2, page number 2 per page equal to 6, so total count is 12. And the same response in the network layer also we are getting it. You can see the response, the same response we are getting it over here in the same line. Okay, now, so this is about the get request, a sampler I have added. So this is my sampler. Now, if you really want to add a parameter like this, so you can add the parameter, you just uh, add as a parameter over here as well. So you simple add, and you can write page equal to 2 also. You can simple write it like this. Okay, page, you can write page equal to 2. Let's say I'm writing page and the value is, I'm writing 2 like this. So like this also you can use it, and you can remove this particular question mark from here. And then if you run it, that also will work. So let me check. I'll go to my tree, clear this, and then run it again. You can see that yes, still I'm getting the same response, and this is a request we are getting. Perfect, right? So like this also you can do that. So this is the get request we have seen. Okay, now what I'm going to do that I'm going to add some post call also now. So right click on it on your thread group, go to sampler, create a new HTTP request sampler, and now this is my post call. And again HTTPS. What is the server name? The server name, the same server name. I'll just copy this guy. Request res.in. Right. And what is the method name? My HTTP method name is post. What is the path? The path, let's see now, this time I'm going to hit this particular post request. Let me just clear this console in the network and hit this particular post button once again. So here you are getting that, yes, this is my go to headers and this is my path, API users, and you just paste it over here. Port number is 443 because this is HTTPS. So 443 is the default port number for HTTPS, and for HTTP it will be 80. Okay, this might be an interview question, that what is the port number for HTTPS? This is 443, and what is the port number for HTTP? It's 80. Then in the post call, if you see that one important thing is that we have to pass this particular payload, okay, like this. So you simply click on view source, copy this particular payload, copy this exact payload, and do one thing. This is the, because whenever you are sending a post request, it means you are going to, okay, enter some data, you are going to create some data. So if you see in the post itself over here, right, in the website also, if you see, this is the post call. Sorry, this is the post call. We are going to create this particular data. So you have to copy this particular data, or you simply go to body data over here instead of parameter and then paste it over here. So this is a JSON payload that you have to pass. And when you send this particular request, now let's see. Are we getting it or not? So let me delete this earlier request data, and then let's run it again. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just shift it over here. Okay, now let's run it again. Now this is the get call and this is the post call. You can see that in the post call, what exactly the request we created. This is the request and this is the JSON payload. You can see that. Okay, this is the JSON payload. We are not sending any cookies, so cookies data is blank. And this is the post call. And what kind of response data that you are getting? This is the response. And now we will compare the response over here. So response, we are getting only ID and created at. You can see that ID is equal to 586 something and created at whatever the current timestamp. Okay, 29/3 2020 and current 7:35 or something like this, or whatever the date is available on that particular server. Okay, so but we are not getting name and job. Why? Because we are missing one thing. Whenever you are sending this particular request with the post call, we are sending what? We are sending a JSON payload. You can see this is a JSON payload. So we have to add one more configuration that is called HTTP header configuration. It means we have to pass as a header also. So if you notice one thing here in this request also, this is the response header, and along with the request header we are sending one important header that is called content type is equal to application JSON, right? So this is the header is important. So how to add that particular header? You simple right click on your thread group, right click on it, go to add and go to config element, and here this is HTTP header manager. You will be getting it, right? And here what you do, you simple click on add from clipboard, because we have already copied this guy, and you simple click on add from clipboard, or you can manually add also. So my key name is content type and the value is application slash JSON, right? And now again we will try to hit. So first let me delete this request data and then run it again. So this is the get and this is the post. Now we are getting the exact same thing. You can see it over here. Name equal to Morphus, job equal to leader, ID got created and created ad also got created. And the same response you can see it over here as well. Name equal to Morphus, job equal to this time, because ID will be unique all the time. And the created ad, obviously the latest timestamp, and ID and created ad also we are getting it over here perfectly fine. So we have to add this particular header manager also, right? Now quickly check the put call. So again, I'll create a sampler over here, and this is my let's see put sampler, and I'll select this. Let's see the put. This is again HTTPS and request res.in. So I'll just copy this guy. This is my server name. Port number is 443, and path for put call. So we will put means update. You can see that along with put, you simply click on it and you see that, okay, along with put you have to pass API slash users, and I'm passing /2 /2. It means for the second user I want to update the user. So name is this, and now I want to update job is equal to Xeon resident, something like this, right? So I'll just clear this particular data. I'll try to capture it over here. Click on put, and you can see that the second this is got created, and this is a put call put. The status code is 200, and I'll copy this guy API users number 2. So this is the thing. I don't need this slash over here. 443. This is the put call, and put call also we have to send the body data. So we will add this particular view source and copy this guy, and or we can do one thing. We just copy this thing. This is the payload, JSON payload we have to pass. Copy this payload, and then we will send the request. So let me delete this previous response and then run it again. Okay, so with put we are getting something. Okay, HTTPS. Okay, so there is a typo over here. If HTTPS we have already written, we need to remove the HTTPS from here. Now let's run it again. Let me delete this, run it again. So get post put, perfect. And we are getting more for job. The new job is Xeon resident updated at this. And this is the request that we created. This is my put URL. This is my put payload, and perfect. And here you can see the request header also. All these request headers I'm getting it. Same thing for post also. What is the response request header we are getting? And if you see the response data, this is the response data we are getting over here. And this is the response header we are getting. All these response headers. And the same response header, you can see it over here. Whatever the response header, you can see these are the response headers. Okay, so response is coming from server. So server will send you the data, with the message that okay, yes, data got created along with some status code, let's see 200, and along with the response header, right? Some CF ray or some content type, date and e tag or some other information from the server, whatever the server configuration is there. According to that, it will be sending it to you in the form of response header. So we are getting it. Same thing for put call, same thing for get call. We are getting different types of response headers and the response body accordingly. Now let's add the delete call also. So add quickly one more sampler, and this is for delete. So I'll write. You can change the name anytime, whatever the name you want to write, delete user or delete account, create user, update user, whatever the name you want to write, it's up to you. This is you can change the name so that it looks good. You can easily see that okay, hey, what is happening, which kind of call I'm using it, like that. Okay, so let's go back to delete, and this is my HTTP S protocol, and I'll quickly copy this guy. Okay, we don't need HTTP over here, and the port number is again 443, and this time this is the delete call, so I'll be selecting delete and path for delete. So delete means to delete the user. So let me remove this. For delete, we will see that this is a request and this is the request we have to pass. So I'll just sorry. So let me show you again. Delete the user, and this is the request URL that we have to use it. So copy this, okay, paste it over here in your path and remove this. And do you have any body? No, we don't need any body. So you can see that here we don't have any body. Over here we just need to send the request, and the response you should be getting 204, and you should get the blank response. You should see that okay, the request has no response data available, and here you can see the same thing, 204 response and no data, because data got deleted. It means delete API used to delete the data. So user number 2, please delete it. It will be deleted. So let's see. And okay, fine. Now let me go to tree, remove this, execute all the requests now. Get, post, put, delete, and we will quickly check the delete. In the response data you are getting blank, this yes. In the response header you are getting some headers along with this 204, and the sample request you can see that okay, yeah, this is the 204, no content, I'm getting it, and this is the request, I'm getting it. This is the request that we sent. Perfect. So this is about a delete call to delete the data. So these are dummy APIs, guys. There is no backend database available. This is just a delete API just to simulate okay those delete calls and everything. Now you can try with other calls also, like patch, post, and there are so many get, delete, response, and a lot of things are there. Login successful or not, okay, like this. You can simply see that API login, if you're passing this particular thing, password is, this is a negative test case, password is missing, so you should be getting 400, and along with that you should be getting this particular message that okay, missing password. You can try by your own, like that. Okay, so this is how in the thread group you have to add a sampler over here like this, and here in config element you have to add your simple header manager. Make sure that you are adding it. Okay, so this is how, guys, we have to do it. Now one last thing, if now once we create the script, then we have to decide that okay, how many users we have to introduce, how many threads we have to introduce, what is the ramp up period, what is the loop count, like that. So this is now you, I hope you are getting it. So first we have to record the script, or you have to create the script. My first targeted, whatever the feature is available, the functionality is available, we have to create the script for that. Get, post, okay, put and delete, and with all the configuration. And once your performance testing will start, it's not like okay, the first step itself I'll do my performance. No, first you create the script and then start deciding that okay, hey, how many threads you want. Let's say I'm giving, let's see, 20 threads, right? Ramp up period I'm giving, let's see, for 5 seconds. It means 20 divided by, or let's say I'm giving, let's say, yeah, 5 seconds. It means in every 5 seconds the ramp up, okay, period will be starting for all the 20 thread users. As I told you okay in the previous session that okay, what do you mean by ramp up period? Okay, so ramp up period means how much time each thread or each user will be taking it to start. Start means to ramp up. And the loop count, let's see, only one scenario I want to execute. The same scenario I don't want to repeat, and I don't want to execute for the infinite time, so only one. Let's see, like this. Then you go to tree and you simple remove this, and then you add one more, let's see, listener. Go to listener, and aggregate report also, if you really want to see that, okay, what is the different medium we are getting it and all those things. Okay, what is the response, what is the latency, if any error, throughput, all the response. Okay, the samples response, we will be getting it. So let's run this particular test plan, go to tree, and then we will see. So here you can see that, okay, back to back requests are happening. You can see the number of users threads are involved over here, and it's done. So with 5 users, it's not a big deal. You can see that everything is in green color like that. So we are sending a lot of requests to the server, and server is properly able to handle properly, no issues. And if you see the aggregate report also, that all these kind of reports get post and delete. For everything we are having 20 samples. So you can see that whatever the thread count, I mean thread group that we have added, so 20 users that we have, you can see that for every 20 users, each and every request will be getting hit. Okay, like this. And 80 samples we are doing it. 80 samples means 20 by 4, 80. And this is the average time, this is the median time, this is the 90 percentile time. I'll tell you what is 90 percentile and 95 percentile and all those things. But what is the minimum time, what is the maximum time, if any errors. So right now we don't have any errors, 0% error. What is the throughput, okay, latency and everything, we are getting it. Now we will increase the thread. So let's say I'm going to increase the thread is around 200. That is a little much because this is a dummy server. And then let's see what happens. So we will remove this guy, and aggregate report also we will remove it, and go to tree, run it. Now let's see for 200. See, you can see the thing over here, back to back request is getting, okay. It's a very simple dummy API. So with 200 also, it's absolutely fine. As such, we are not getting any red error. And in the aggregate report also, you can see that, okay, perfectly fine. 800 samples we executed. And this is the response from the server. We are getting it. So far, 0 errors. And then right now, we don't have any benchmarking that, okay, this is the minimum time every API should take. So you can see that the maximum time taken by the minimum time taken by this guy post call, 172 milliseconds, and this is around 4706 milliseconds, around 4 seconds. Okay, the maximum time, because it's a post call, we are creating the data. And for deleting the data also, it's taking some time. For getting, it's very minimal time. Minimum and maximum both are very less. Let's increase more data, more threads. So let me remove this, and let's now, this time I'm going to execute with 2000 threads I'm creating. Okay, so let's go to tree and run it again. Okay, with 2000 also perfectly fine. You can see that, okay, back to back all the users, you can see the count here, and 2000 users are done. Not a single error, not a single line, absolutely working fine, no issues. You can see that again, aggregate report, 2000 samples multiply by, okay, 4, 8000 samples we executed, and now maximum time got increased because number of threads also got increased. You can see over here. So get call is absolutely working fine without any issue. Perfect. Now let's add more data. Now this time I'm going to add, let's see, 5000. Although it's a very dummy site, we should not block their server, but still. So let me remove this and then run it again. Go to tree and run it again. With 5000 users are hitting all these 4 APIs back to back. You can see that, guys. It's just too much, right? Not a single red line we are not getting. We are getting it. It means absolutely working fine with the 5000 users also. Okay, in the aggregate report also, you can see that perfectly fine. 20,000 samples we hit, no issues. Then we will now, let's try it with last thing, 10,000. Okay, 10,000 threads will be created. Make sure that, okay, you should have a good RAM for your operating system, for your system, right, for your hardware. So let's run it again, delete this and run it again. Now 10,000 threads are hitting this particular server for all the 4 APIs. You can see that back to back. Okay, this is again too much. So are we getting any negative? No, absolute working fine, because these are very simple, very basic APIs, very lightweight APIs. Okay, so as such, no problems. Perfect, absolutely fine. Okay, now it's getting decreased, then 3 2 1, finally it will be 0. Okay, and it took around 37. See, still running it. Some thread got stuck somewhere. Okay, and you can see the aggregate report, around 40,000 39,992. Okay, samplers are running, and you can see the minimum and maximum time over here. No error as such. So like this, guys, we will be doing performance testing, and we will keep monitoring, okay, the response from the server, right? So let's see, there is an API. Let's see, for Amazon or Flipkart, there's an API to do a payment option, or do, let's see, search for the product, search for MacBook during Thanksgiving Day or Big Billion Day or during Diwali season. And I'll be just writing around per second. Let's see, I'm using 40,000 users or 50,000 users per second. I'm hitting that particular API, right? So here I can simulate 40,000 users, and then we will see the response that Amazon server is able to handle that response. I mean, handle those many requests or not, and sending the proper response or not, like that. Okay, now it's zero. You can see that. So like this, guys, we will be doing it. Okay, the performance testing and the load testing, like that. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Please try. It's very simple, and you can use this particular request res.in. Later on, I'll tell you some more complex examples, like how to use, with authorization and authentications point of view, how to pass those headers, okay, authentication 1.0, 2.0, and all those things I'll be telling you later. So thanks for watching this video. Keep watching Naveen Automation Labs, and if you have any doubts, please let me know, and please subscribe to the channel, guys. I really need it. And if you like this video, this series, please share with your friends and others. Thank you so much, guys.